We're not wrong. The Prophecy Variable by Justin Foy, Chapter 4, The Prophecy of the Trees. This is an amazing study. And now I use the word study because I'm not going to be able to fully describe it all. It's going to take some research by you and research by me. But for a quick hit chapter on what this is about, this is incredible. I have to kind of go deep first before we can go light and get the interpretation later. Chuck Missler, one of the greatest theologians and researchers, scientific and biblical otherwise, had the most amazing, I don't know if he made it up, he found it, or if he had access to scholars that knew about this, but dealing with the Torah code, the Bible code, and the fact that you got to understand that the Hebrew words also equal numbers. Now, this is not... the Bible code is amazing in equal, distant, skipping. You have to research this yourself. I could never do it justice. But in my own research and listening to the ones who are great studies on it, I find it to be extremely interesting. In the equal distant separation of the Hebrew words in the Torah, I believe in the genealogy and in Deuteronomy and in one of the Psalms, as the genealogies are spoken, you can find in equal distant letter skipping the names of like 32 different trees. Now, I don't know the exacts on this. So I need to do this chapter justice and put some actual references in. But if you research Chuck Missler on this subject in his Genesis series, it's in there. Now, every line of Adam, every line of Noah, the family lines, all the different family lines, are likened unto a type of tree. And the type of tree is likened unto a nation. Remember, Abraham's a father of many nations. Now, these nations, we know, are likened unto a tree. Very simply put, the olive tree, the fig tree, and the vine can be referenced to the nation of Israel. The fig tree, mostly, all throughout the Old Testament and into the New Testament, is referenced as the nation of Israel. So, when Christ explained his return to his disciples and likened it unto the fig tree in Matthew 24 and 25, he showed them that the fig tree withered away and then came back and said, learn a lesson from the fig tree, that this would be the generation that would see his return. Now remember, the fig tree withered away first. The fig tree being the nation of Israel. After Christ died, and after 70 AD, and after about 120 when there were the last fight against Rome, the nation of Israel was dispersed all throughout the world and withered away. And this is prophesied all throughout the Old Testament. Even Moses prophesied about the second diaspora. Now, the fig tree withered away. And so when the fig tree would come back, which we believe to be 1948, when Israel was born back into being a nation, that generation would not pass away before all these things were fulfilled. Now, that's common knowledge for prophecy watchers and prophecy educators and listeners and speakers and fellowshippers, rapture heads, rapture watchers, people who love the Lord and his return, Maranatha. But there's another aspect to it in Luke 13, which is the aspect that Jesus added one more line to it. When you see the fig tree come back and all the other trees, then you will know this generation shall not pass. What does that mean, all the other trees? If you look back in the history of the last 2,000 years. It has been a continual breakdown of massive empires. The Ottoman Empire, the Roman Empire, Russia breaking down from the Tsars. All of these different places, and then, Britain and the dissolution of the colonies into their own independent nation states. When you see the fig tree return and all the other trees, every other nation, we now stand in a world of independent nations, the nation state. And actually here now in 2021, we see the globalization and the global one world government about to culminate into 10 kings, 10 regions across the earth. Right now, all the trees stand alongside the fig tree. Iraq, Iran, Germany, France, England, Spain, Russia, Turkey, China, Japan, India, Pakistan. It doesn't matter. All the different African nations, they're all up, standing up right here at the last to witness the great harvest. And then after that, after the great harvest, the 10 kings will be allowed to rise and reorganize the world into 10 regions. That, my friend, is the prophecy variable of the trees.